Smith makes me feel like Jason Derulo.
In my head, I see you all over me. In my head, you fulfill my fantasy. In my head, you'll be screaming now.
In my head, it's going down.
In my head,
it's going down.
Going down my head.
That's a good intro. All right, welcome to the show, Flock of Geeks Gaming. I am your host, Kester, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Defense.
I'm still here.
Nice.
I'm singing, baby.
That was excellent song. So, big show this week. Surprisingly, a lot of stuff came up. So, a lot of it news and a lot of trailers. So we had Last of Us news. We had the Tomb Raider concept art. Tony Hawk, Discord, bad news. Assassin's Creed news, tons of trailers, and then we're gonna end the show probably with Suikoden remake and our top, best old school RPGs.
Yeah, I think we decided on 3, but I have a couple honorary mentions. I just want to be like, these were also important to me.
Yeah, I have so many of these. It was so hard for me to cut it down to just 3. I don't even know if I did. There are too many.
I had a list, and then I just kind of was like, which one do I want to play right now? I just threw the 3 at the top.
That's kind of what I went with. I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. But okay, I'm only going to talk. I'm only going to talk about the 3 that I think I would want to see come back or meant something really special to me.
I think you should just give the whole list at the end. Just not talk much about them. Just be like, this is the list.
Okay, sounds good. So I think
they deserve to be said.
I think we should start here because apparently this came out during Valentine's Day, but the Lara Croft concept art for the new game, and I am absolutely loving this.
This is just when we said we thought gaming was just getting worse, this is one of those times where thank God this happened.
Yeah,
I feel like there's still good people out there.
Restored a lot of faith. She looks straight old school. We got dual guns again. It was weird she didn't have dual guns in the last 3 games. Classic ponytail, classic blue wife beater and shorts.
Oh, she looks great.
Yeah,
she looks exactly like you imagine Lara Croft should. The new one was a hot modern office girl got when exploring. This is this chick is raring to go. This is the old Lara Croft, and I'm so for it.
I think too, it looks like it probably is the same Lara from those 3 games. It just looks like this is finally her going to classic Lara.
Oh,
see
everything you're saying, just it's giving me chills. I'm so excited.
I know, it's so great. I know nothing about the game whatsoever, but just one picture got me so excited. I love Tomb Raider. I love the old games. I like the remakes. I like the new games. That trilogy started out solid. The second one is a legit great game. And then by the third one, it was okay, I've done this 3 times now.
Yep, that's exactly how I felt about it too. And I didn't even feel like finishing it. It's I know this. I know this very well.
Yeah, the third one was essentially the second game over again, only in the jungle, and she was ripped. That was the only thing I remembered. Yeah, the only thing I remembered about that game is she must have been lifting because she was jacked.
Jacked and constantly dirty.
Yeah, it was a fun game, but those 3 games in general, I thought I would be so excited. And we haven't had a Tomb Raider, I think, since 2018. So it's time.
We haven't had a cool arcadey one like I'm kind of anticipating with this one. More just heavy action, not gruesome realism, but just what we want to play a video game for.
It was kind of funny how it came full circle with that whole thing where Uncharted, it was this is just male Tomb Raider, and then that game became something so spectacular that Tomb Raider then stole that concept.
And now it's like trying to take it back.
Yeah, hopefully it goes back to its root, but 10 out of 10 on this concept art.
Yeah,
That
great
guy,
news. Great
stuff.
news.
So the next bit of news is on The Last of Us. Is it Neil Druckmann?
We'll call him that, yeah.
Yeah, sure. He came out and he said Last of Us Part 3 will probably not happen.
Good.
See, it's funny because I really like 1. 1 is one of like my all-time favorite games. 2 I liked, but it's just all the hatred of it is, I feel like it's like swaying my opinion to like, I don't like it, but it's okay.
I think I'm on board with you. The first one I think is a masterpiece. The second one has, I don't know. I think it has some of the best gameplay I've ever played. Like just realistic hand-to-hand shooting, like gruesome, gritty gameplay, survival gameplay. I think it has great. But the story, it's so heavy-handed and it's so in your face, and it's like constantly ripping ass and bending over and sniffing itself, like constantly.
It is it's pretentious.
It's so pretentious.
It insists upon itself.
Like The Last of Us was great because it didn't know how great it was gonna be. 2 came out, was like, we know we're fucking great.
Yeah.
And then everything else was written. Like that was like the mentality going into it. And
we're like, just better than you.
I think if he wrote a third one, I think he would purposefully like cut Ellie's head off, throw it off a cliff, like someone took a dump on it. Like he will just shit all over her or somebody just to prove a point and say that that's real life. That's hard.
Yeah, and that's the problem with what's the new game called? I've already forgotten.
Which one?
The new Naughty Dog game.
Oh, the one with the girl in space and like it's like Marty McFly in a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I've already forgotten.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy with one chick. I don't know if that's interesting to me.
Yeah, and I can see like they're just asking for trouble with making that girl look like that.
With the shaved head and stuff. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. She's in I know her from the new Sabrina show. I'm a big fan of that show. I don't know why. But she's in that, and yeah, I'm a fan of her. I just think you're right. I think they're setting it up just to get hate.
Yeah, it is almost like they're asking for it. And it's weird, too, because this is the same studio that brought you, like, Chloe's Ass. And now they're coming in with, like, chicks with shaved heads. Like, I'm like, get so sick of the anti-woke people, but, like, they're just begging for people to hate this game.
Yeah.
So it's
you got to read the room at some point. You do.
You really do.
Naughty Dog won't. And I think Neil Druckmann's going to, like, he's never going to read the room out of principle because he's too deep, dude. His writing's too fucking deep. Like, we'll never understand it.
He thinks he's better than you.
Oh, of course.
That's what
he thinks he's better than you, too. So, like, why would we praise him and ask for a third? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You kind of ruined it, so someone else should try.
My question is, like, do you even believe him, like, with the Last of Us TV show being so big and it just being such a big property in general? I mean, I guess they never brought Uncharted back.
I think it's like they've made enough money. Maybe it's just that, yeah, they're like, maybe it's going to go the way of Uncharted, and that's just the way that these developers are. I mean, Crash Bandicoot kind of stopped, and then Uncharted stopped, and then this will stop,
Jack and
maybe they'll move on.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they don't really go back.
No, they don't. And I would love
remakes and shit, but
yeah, Jack and Daxter game.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, or
at this point,
yeah, Uncharted, man. Oh, I love Uncharted. It is weird. Like they're considered like the greatest first-party developer until The Last of Us 2, and it was so divisive and so hated by a subset of people. I found it to be fine, but you're right there. It was so like in your face, trite.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the roguelike mode is something that actually legitimately intrigues me in that game because I love the combat. When you blow someone's head off, dude, I kind of feel bad about it.
Yeah, it
That's
was
how realistic
so
it looks like.
brutal.
Yeah, and like that's something you can't get from any games. The only other game that I ever really felt that way was like Red Dead, where I was like, should I shoot this person? Like, normally I don't really care. It's a video game, but if you could get me to like maybe hold my trigger finger, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was okay to me, and I really like one, and I will always give Naughty Dog a chance. So I'm gonna play Space Bald Girl, even though I can't even remember what it's called.
I guess it's gonna be their take on Dark Souls. So they're
Like everyone's
cool.
doing a Dark Souls
Yeah,
take.
right, right. It's like cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another Dark Souls. We got like I think 2 Dark Souls takes on here on the
yeah,
news list
yeah,
today.
potentially, right.
Yeah. So the next thing that I wanted to mention is Tony Hawk. Did you see their remastering 3 and 4?
So my girlfriend walked in on me watching the trailer, and I tear shed when I heard the Ace of Spades, dude.
Such a good soundtrack. I think Tony Hawk 3 is actually my favorite of the Tony Hawks, so I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, and honestly, if you wait, they pretty much gave Tony Hawk out once it went on sale. You basically get it on PSN, so you'll get it too.
Yeah, I think it
Um,
is. Just wait till you get a PSN discount or a sale, or they just give it away. Someone will give it away.
oh yeah, for sure. My personal favorite was Underground, where you got to like run around to get sponsored and stuff. I think that was 5. So
Yeah, that was after 4. It was just Tony Hawk Underground. I can't remember the order.
yeah, I think 5 was their dive into that kind of open world genre. I loved that as a kid because I wanted to be that guy, run around, skate, and get sponsored.
Yeah. There's like a lot of skate games coming too, because Skate got a trailer as well. I watched it, but I don't even like really remember. It looks like a skateboarding game.
Yeah, I can kind of imagine it in my head right now. It looks great.
Yeah, looks good. And then next piece of news is so Assassin's Creed Shadows, is that what it is? They
Yeah.
came out and said that the game is 250 hours. That is madness. First of all, do you think this is true?
Who said this?
I can't remember where I saw this.
If it was from Ubisoft's mouth, then
Yeah.
just put a fucking fork in them. They're dead.
I think it was Ubisoft.
If oh my, okay. So did I wonder if they got cornered? I wonder if they're like, do we get half a game because I don't want to play as Yasuke? And then, and then people they're like, no, you still get 125 hours. The whole game's 250 hours long. And they're like, oh fuck, we shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Well, I heard Valhalla is like 180, so I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but that was literally everyone's complaint was this game is just too long. And it's like
That was my
I
complaint
might
almost
not
with
be
the
able
Honest.
to beat this game.
Yeah, 250 hours, that's a big commitment. I'm wondering though to beat the actual story. This could be like whatever Final Fantasy said it took you 48 hours to beat that one boss. It took like 4.
Yeah, true.
That would be my only guess. There's no way this game is 250 hours. I can't remember where I saw this. And I'm just like,
God, I hope it's right. I hope it's true.
yeah.
I
like-
hope because that just means that they doubled down. They said you don't like how big our dick is. Well, here was the hidden piece.
That is true. They're like, if you didn't like how long the last one was, get ready.
Get ready for Asia.
Yeah, Asia long. Oh my god. Yeah, it is wild to think that they took the biggest complaint and doubled down on it.
They literally, yeah. Just add 50 more and say you doubled it. Why not?
Yeah, just say it's 300 hours. I've never played a single player game for 200 hours. Like, that can't be right.
The only one I can literally think of is Breath of the Wild, but I 100% at that game, and most of that's just staring at the sky. So,
Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to think of what single player game I played the
Dark Souls 2, maybe? Because didn't you like no death run that?
Yeah, I know Bonfire, no death, that one. But I don't remember, like, how long that took. I did play it a bunch. I did like Dark Souls 2 a lot.
It's underrated. People need to get back. They need to play it and give it credit. Give it a little bit of,
Yeah, I don't know why people don't like 2. I love 2.
I did too.
But, yeah, I want to say Final Fantasy 12 might have been the longest I've ever played a single-player game. But I don't know what the hours would have been, because to beat that, the secret boss in that took a couple of days for me to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like running in, running out, and farming stuff. It was tough.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, well, good luck, Assassin's
I don't know.
Creed.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it, but I really hope for their sake it's not that long.
Let's hope for their sake it's like 100 hours.
Yeah, give me 70. I think that'd be fine.
Next is a bit of bad news. I don't know if you heard about this, but Discord,
what we're on right now to do the podcast.
Yeah, and what everyone uses is going to go public. It's going to be a publicly traded company, and there's no way this is going to be good for us and gamers in general.
No. My immediate, within the next 5 years, this is going subscription only.
Yeah, as soon as you're beholden to shareholders, I mean, there's nothing that corporate profits have not made so much worse. And I think gamers should be aware of this and scared of this.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The only thing, yeah, I don't see a benefit unless for some reason Sony bought it up and then they just kept it the same and profited it off of it some way. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. Yeah, it's not good. Period.
No, it's just not good. I feel like as a gamer, you should know about this if this does happen. I think you're going to either be paying a subscription, shit's going to be full of ads. Like, it'll have to keep making more and more money because that line's got to keep going up.
Yeah, your user experience will go down the more they need money.
And everyone who plays video games uses Discord. It's like 90% of the use of Discord is for video game shit.
Yeah, I mean, you probably will see a lot of... I wouldn't be surprised if the hackers come out.
Yeah, shit'll probably...
Fuck with their Discord. I just want to play Rivals with my friends. I can't? All right, I'm going to close the bank.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine, like, having to use, like, game chat in Marvel Rivals to talk? Like, because you would have to talk to everyone in the match.
That used to be how it was, Kester, back in the day.
It was
Xbox
so bad.
Live.
Just getting
all right,
yelled
guys,
at.
We got to be careful. We're getting into a group of no-names here.
Like, dude, you gotta, like, nothing is better than muting the racism and the homophobia and the crazies that come out on these fucking games, and Discord was the solution.
It was. It really was. It did. Everyone's like, I miss that shit. No, you don't.
No.
And the people that you met like 2 cool people out of thousands. So it's not worth the time.
Anyone who's played any competitive game, most people are toxic and assholes. They have that online erection where they think they're so cool.
I get that way at Rivals, and that's why sometimes I got to take a break for a couple days. I'm like, my dick is getting too big for my own ego here.
Yeah, you do. You are the type to rage too.
Well, sometimes it's usually because I don't want to say it, but it's like, come on, DPS.
Yeah.
If it's our team, like, I'm usually not mad that someone else is good. Like, I will try to counter them. I'll try to fight them. It's when someone isn't pulling their weight, and it's the only reason we're like just not having fun.
Yeah, it happens a lot in those games too, man.
It does. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So we can move on to the trailers. I want to start with Hell Is Us, because we had a 6-minute gameplay demonstration by one of the developers. And this looks pretty good. I like what he was saying as far as it's going to be like completely exploration based and you kind of make your own way through the game.
So this is just to make sure everyone's on the same page. This is Hot Boy Saved by the Bell, right?
Yeah, this
Screech.
is
Okay.
Screech.
Yeah, and I actually did not get to see this gameplay. So if you could give me the lowdown, I'm super excited to hear about it.
Yeah, what's cool about it is they kind of give you like a baseline for the game. So Screech, I think they actually said his name and it was Remy.
Okay.
So Remy, basically, he goes back to his hometown and he's trying to find his parents. Is the gist of the game. They said too that there's no like quest markers or anything. You just kind of have to explore your way through the world, and they're kind of. It sounds to me a little bit like Breath of the Wild or Skyrim or something like that, where you can just kind of, if you see something interesting, go over there and investigate it, kind of thing.
Kind of unlock points of interest as you find them or hear about them, as opposed to just
being pointed in a direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, it looked really good. They showed the first town, and like you talk to a little girl, and she says your parents got on this truck. So if you go down to where the truck left, it'll show you. There's like a map there that shows the general route of which way they went. So it's like you kind of have to discover for yourself where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do next.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it sounds refreshing.
I'm even more sold, and I was kind of sold already.
Yeah, it looked good, and everything they said looked amazing. Another thing is they showed multiple weapons besides a sword for the first time, I think.
Oh, I was actually not expecting that.
Nah, he had dual axes at one point. He had some sort of like hammer axe thing. So it all looked really good. It actually made me a lot more excited for this game. A lot of the world they showed too. There's a lot of life. It looks like there's a lot of NPCs you can interact with. It'll send you in different directions. And basically, he said the gist of it is if you get an idea or an inkling, you should follow it, which sounds awesome.
Nice. I love that. Cool. Yeah, so you'd say like a post-apocalyptic Skyrim Breath of the Wild kind of thing?
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
With the Dark Souls kind of would you say it still seems like Dark Souls combat, little more?
It seems like Dark Souls combat. It is drone. The drone seems to do a lot, they said. As far as like it can scan things, it fights with you in combat.
So it's your Navi, your little fairy.
Yeah, basically. So it looks like the drone is going to be a big part of the game too.
Cool. I'm in.
Yeah,
sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get this one. It's September, so I'm excited. Next game I have on here would be Blades of Fire. Did you watch this one?
So I got the trailer and I watched some inside. I didn't get to watch all of it, but I think I got the general gist of it.
First of all, the name Blades of Fire is amazing. It sounds like an 80s ballad.
It does, dude.
Blades of Fire! Awesome. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. I hear it now.
Yeah. You'll hear it. And then it is I can't remember their name, but they made the Castlevania games, the Lords of Shadows.
So do you recall? That's 505 Games. I looked it up.
Okay.
So do you remember? I think it was last episode. I said it would be interesting to see a Castlevania game in the play style of God of War.
Oh yeah, you did.
Didn't I say that?
You did say that,
dude. And then the next episode we get Blades of Fire.
Blades of Fire. Yeah, it just writes itself.
It does, dude. It's so good. Okay, I'm at I was like this. I'm kind of sold on this game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just because of just the way it is.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna be sitting there playing it, singing Blades of Fire the entire time. I like to, because it looks like not only a God of War ripoff, but also a Dark Souls ripoff. We're kind of combining the two. And if you remember, Lords of Shadows was a God of War ripoff, but it also had Shadow of Colossus in there for some reason. So it ripped off 2 games. So this studio, it seems like their thing is to rip off 2 games at the same time. And try and make something interesting out of it. Like, this is like behind the shoulder God of War. You have a little kid who you're escorting around. I think you're actually a god of some kind.
You're a blacksmith. There's like a blacksmith minigame.
Yeah, but you're like a god of blacksmithing or something, if I remember correctly. And the combat actually looks kind of fun. The way it works is like triangle. Each button will swing from a different direction, so you can like aim for someone's arm, you can aim for their gut, aim for their head, kind of thing.
Okay.
So that's something, like, that's at least something new. And
yeah, I'll take that.
Another thing I think is cool is, instead of when you, like, there are bonfires because we're ripping off Dark Souls. When you die, you don't lose like your souls, you lose whatever weapon you have.
Oh, great. So
and then you have to fight your way back to get that weapon. So, like, if you made a really good one and you die, you have to, like, fight your way back to get that weapon back.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
That's such a good
idea. I want to do
idea.
it with my bare fucking hands.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to, like, make another sword, but it won't be as good because you don't have any materials because you just made a sick sword. Now you have to go get that back.
I will not use another sword.
You're
I'm
scared.
I'm gonna use my bare fucking hands.
You're gonna bare fist your
Blades
way.
of fire!
So good.
Like, come on, man. Like, there's no slowing down. I'm not making another one. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Blades of fire!
That's what I mean. I just want to play this to sing Blades of Fire. And
Yeah, dude. I think so. I wrote down, like, definitely Dark Souls, but I actually get more Lords of the Fallen vibe.
I never played that.
Yeah, so that's
You told me it was bad.
It is, but it has a charm to it, and there's certain things of it that are okay, but, like, it doesn't do anything very good. But the aesthetic's really cool, and that's about it. And this game kinda looks like that one, so I'm wary on it. But if the gameplay sucks, it might add to the charm of Blades of Fire.
Yeah, Blades of Fire kind of looks like the combat is going to be fun. Though they're saying it's a 60 to 80 hour game. Like, do you think this has 60 to 80 hours written all over it? Because this looks like it would be fun for like maybe 8 to 10.
The name doesn't. That's for sure.
The name, like, you had me sold once. Blades of Fire. Like, I was buying the game, but the game itself, I don't know.
I wanted to feel like I was living like a barbarian in the 80s for like 8 hours, not 80 hours. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I could go maybe 20
stuff
of this.
to do.
Yeah, I got other things to do, and eventually, it's gonna take a while to get tired of singing Blades of Fire, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna, yeah, for sure. I don't foresee myself hitting that Steam review button and looking at my hours and see like 75 hours played.
No, I don't.
And not regretting it. Like, I'll regret that.
Yeah, there's no way you're not gonna get bored. Maybe it'll be spectacular. I mean, when they ripped off God of War and Shadow of the Colossus, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get it on Game Pass and we're not even gonna have to worry about it.
That would be nice.
We could play it for 12 hours, and as soon as we feel all Blades of Fired out, we'll just turn it off.
Yeah, Lords of Shadow 2, that was so bad. Like, I couldn't even get past the, like, first 2 hours of it.
Yeah, is that Castlevania game?
Yeah. The first one was, like, it was mediocre, but it was okay. The second one was terrible. The first one had Patrick Stewart reading these long monologues for some reason that really didn't matter that much to the grand scheme of the story.
They paid for him, so they got to use him.
Yeah, I mean, that made it good. But I don't know. I think we're down for Blades of Fire for the song aspect of it.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Hopefully, it's a Game Pass game, or like just wait till it goes on sale. Who knows? It could come out, and if it's like overwhelmingly positive or it's getting good reviews, I mean, I think I'm gonna get it just to sing Blades of Fire.
Exactly. It's so funny because we're singing it so high, your mic's cutting out. I'm sure mine is too.
Yeah,
but like, we're just fucking screaming it.
You have to sing it high, like it's
It's
not like you could Blades of Fire. That's not good.
No, it sucks. In fact,
That's not how fucking an
That's
80s
not how it-
power
No.
ballad singer would do it. I'm trying to think who'd be a good singer for this.
Oh, fucking. Give it to Boston, dude.
Boston.
Yeah, dude. They'll come up with a good riff for
Journey. You
it.
could get Journey.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Or whoever did St. Elmo's Fire, that's probably where I'm getting that.
That guy.
That guy. No one knows who that guy is. I don't think he had another song.
I have the internet at my fingertips, but I'm gonna drink my coffee.
Okay, so the next game after Blades of Fire, and this one I just wanted to put on here because it's like my kind of game, is Edge of Memories.
I wrote, I'm skipping it, but I'm sure Kester likes it.
Yeah,
That was my note for this.
I could see you never even touching this game, but
I was just like, Kester game, I'll watch it, but I know this is all for him.
yeah, I just wanted you to know that I might get this game because it's an anime game. But the thing that really I was like kind of sold on this when I first saw it, and then like the animations are so bad, the running animations are so bad.
Dude, that's my second one. I said running animation was real sad.
It's like, are they gonna work on this game a little bit before it comes out? Because I like the look of the combat and the characters, so I mean, I'm always down to try an anime game. I just tried the demo for that. Did you ever hear that AI Limit game?
Actually, I think I did hear about that, but
Yeah, try the demo for that one because it's anime Dark Souls, of course. Yeah, but it was a really good demo. I'm excited for that game. I don't know. I think it comes out this month.
Was that on Steam or PlayStation?
I think I played it on PlayStation.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's kind of like a little better
I'll
than
write it
Code
down.
Vein.
What's it called again?
AI Limit.
Lemon. All right, cool.
Yeah, you play as a cool anime girl. That's why I was like, I kind of want to try this Edge of Memories game just because you look like you're a cool anime girl, and that's my entire shtick.
I was like, I'll say the end piqued my interest when she kind of turned all like dark. Like
Yeah.
I like that. So
Yeah, like
I'm
maybe
interested to see what that might be.
And it's early, so they could work on some of this shit.
Hey man, maybe it'll be charming. Who knows?
Yeah, but I like the way the world looked. I like the art style. I like the main character. The combat looked kind of Wuthering Waves-esque. So I was like, I might give this one a shot, especially if, down the line when it's cheap.
Yeah, for
Although
sure.
Anime games tend to never get cheap. There's so many of those that I'm like, I want to try some of these games, but they just never get cheap.
They're never so they're not full price, but they're never like reasonably priced either.
Yeah, they're
Is that
always
what you're
60.
saying?
Yeah, they're always $60. These anime-esque games. I don't know why.
Probably just because they can get away with it.
Yeah, probably. So, do you want to move on to the horror escapade that came out?
Yes, I am very excited. This was really weird because, yeah, you sent me kind of a list of trailers that you wanted to discuss, and I'm like, holy fucking horror.
Yeah, so we were thinking there must be some kind of horror show going on.
An expo.
An expo of sorts for horror games coming out, because there was, 4 of them?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, look pretty similar. We'll get into it. So the first one was The Occultist, and this one has Geralt from The Witcher.
Immediately, you're like, that's Geralt. Okay.
Yeah, so he went from witching to occulting, it looks like.
The character's eyes look just like Geralt's, too. Like, they're a different color. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, does this dude have to have different colored eyes?
Dude, if you're gonna push something, you push the fact that you have Geralt. Like, there was nothing really else to this trailer. I'm not even sure if this is like an action horror game. Is this a puzzle horror game? Dude, some of the settings though, when that bird was flying, like through all the spooky locales, that looked cool. Do I get to play as the bird? I would be down for that.
Yeah, I think it was just a really cool showcase of a horror game of what we're gonna be. I have a feeling walking through. I think it's gonna be a walking simulator. I did see a good QTE in there balancing act though.
Yeah, there was definitely a QTE. There's some driving.
If they're showing off QTEs, it makes me believe that this doesn't have much gameplay. But there's like a weird hint at a boss battle, unless it's like a chase sequence. If there's a boss battle, maybe there is like you throw
Yeah, and it looked like
holy water on stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and it looked like at one point there was like some sort of robot child attacking you.
Yeah, that was kind of when the trailer, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that. That thing creeped me out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This game looks creepy, and it has Geralt. I would definitely play this one unless it's like straight up walking simulator puzzle game like Amnesia.
Yeah, I kind of have a feeling that's what it's gonna be like. But this kind of is screaming Game Pass to me. I hope it comes out on Game Pass.
Yeah, hopefully. Like the next one. My God, my bird. It's like she doesn't talk until we start trying to record.
Tell the podcast.
Like,
tell them about your bird so they know what's your bird's name and everything.
I have a bird named Geeks. She's a cockatiel, and she's usually very quiet until we start casting, and then she decides to chirp in a lot. So
yeah, she hears Daddy. She's like, I want to talk too. I see the games you're playing.
Yeah, she's on my.
I have opinions.
She's always on my shoulder, so it's like she's right here, so you're gonna hear her. But I can't keep her. I'm not gonna lock her in the cage. She's my best friend.
No, and it's so funny too because, like, the listeners, the more they listen to the cast, the more they won't even hear the bird anymore. It's like when we play, I don't hear her anymore. It's like
it is funny because whenever I play with new people online, the bird always freaks them out. They're like, "What was that?" Like, it's a bird. You're gonna have to get used to her.
Oh, Jeets, yeah. Just hang out for a second. You'll get used to her.
Yeah, you get used to her. I thought it was a boy, so I named him Vegeta. And then I found out it was a girl, so it went to Jeets. Because I don't think Vegeta's a good girl's name.
Yeah, fair. You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure she appreciates it.
The next game, this one definitely looks like a walking simulator puzzle game, but this one really intrigued me story-wise. The Fading of Nicole Wilson.
Okay, so we're on to this one. Yes.
Yes. Well, I just figured we'll go simulator, then we'll go our Cthulhu games. Because we got 2 Cthulhu games this week.
You're right. I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing this time. I'm like, I even texted you. I was like, are these the same game? Or what are we doing here? And you're like, no, there's 2 different things. Like,
yeah.
All right.
2 Cthulhu games. We'll get on to that.
Yeah. So Nicole Wilson, my initial impressions of this game were really high because I got... Have you ever played the game Firewatch? It was a
I think it's the same developers, isn't it?
I thought it was. I looked into them, and maybe I picked the wrong thing, but I don't. It's not them. It might be. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't look into it.
If it is them, I am going to buy it. I love Firewatch. If it's not them, I'm gonna just kind of wait to see what this game's all about because it could. It has potential.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
It has a lot of potential, even for like a walking simulator puzzle game. A lot of times these puzzle games can be fun. Like I did like Amnesia, so I think this could be in a similar vein where it's like you're solving puzzles, but there's like always that like tense you could die feeling in it. And
and there's something about having like just one other person on like a walkie-talkie that is intriguing in games that is a little different than any other kind of situation, I think.
Yeah, and-
Firewatch made me feel that way, at least. So I got those vibes, and it makes me feel that way again. I like that.
Yeah, and the concept, I think it's like you're investigating for a TV show.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it's like the atmosphere and the scenery, the graphics look great. I think this is like you could put like, you know, you turn the lights on, put the headphones on. This one could be creepy.
I think if I woke up one day and I was like, okay, that Nicole Wilson game got a 9 out of 10, I'll probably buy it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Because you have with these puzzle games, it's like you have to know, are the puzzles clever? Is it worth doing?
Right. Sometimes if it's just a walking simulator, I would literally rather watch a Twitch streamer play it because I save money and I don't have to hit any buttons.
Yeah, that's very true. I never even think about that because if it's a walking simulator, I have zero interest. That's why I couldn't play Hellblade 2 because everyone said it's just way more of a walking simulator than the first one.
That's why I'm gonna stream Monster Hunter tonight drunk because I am intent on the walking simulator. Yeah. I got things to say.
Okay, yeah, that's coming up. That's after the Cthulhu.
Hold me back, Kester.
I will.
Hold me back.
Because I have things to say as well. Because I've progressed pretty far in Monster Hunter. So,
all right, cool. So let's keep going on. I am interested. It's probably going to just be like a wait a day or two to see how the public reacts, to see if it's clever or if it's just kind of something we've seen before.
Yeah. So let's do the Mound, Omen of Cthulhu. This one,
yeah.
This one is the multiplayer one.
So, yeah, what I wrote down. Have you ever heard of Dread Hunger?
No.
It was an online. Well, it was an original IP. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Everything's made up, Kester. Come on.
No, I feel like you just made it up.
Oh, on the spot.
On the spot.
No. It was a group game where like it's one of those games where there's 8 people, all real people, but one of you or 2 of you are the killers, so it's like Among Us. But you're on like a ship in the Arctic and you have to like try to break ice and get through the Arctic and survive it. Meanwhile, there's like cannibals and shit, and there's 2 traitors. It's pretty crazy. It's actually really cool, but it fell apart because China hackers.
Okay.
Anyway, this game made me think of that mixed with Left 4 Dead, and I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I think this game looks cool, especially if you can get like 4 friends together to play it, because it's almost like, what is it going to be like? It looks like, Left 4 Dead, where you're like a team. And first of all, I like the time period it's set in. I'm all about like we're gonna be musketing the shit out of these monsters and like.
I know right. It's really cool. We're like finding like hidden treasure. We're like, you know, Spaniards or something.
And we're piratey, and it could be like every once in a while, just like one of your friends looks like a monster. Or is it
you just shoot him?
You just shoot him, and he's like, hey. Like, that could be fun. What are you doing? Like, that could be very fun.
Yeah.
Or, like, one of you is a monster, and you're working against the other 3. I don't know which way it's going, but either way, this game has me intrigued.
I think it would be cool if it went a PvE start and could become a PvP. Like, you know, you get infected or something.
Yeah, one of you gets infected, or, like, one of you goes mad and then sees the others as monsters and he just has to kill everyone. That could be cool.
Right.
Like there's
like 6 There's 6 monsters, but 2 of them are your friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's neat.
Yeah, and then it's like you're afraid to shoot your friend, but there's monsters coming at you. Like it's a good idea, I think, and the whole aesthetic. I like the time period. I like the monster design. Everything looks suitably creepy.
I agree. So I'm interested to see did it say anything about how this game is? Like, is it a live service game?
Nah, it was just that like 2-minute trailer.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I saw too. Well,
like it could be like a free to play live service game, which would mean it would be terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think the success, the most successful way to distribute this game would be?
That is a good question. Because if you give it away for free, you get that initial, like, everyone's playing it, everyone's trying it.
And it's probably gonna not be that. It's not gonna be as polished. I don't think.
Nah.
Tend to be how that goes.
Yeah. And the other thing with this, too, is it more going to be more fun to play with your friends, or it would adding the random people add another element to it where it's like you don't know these people. It'd be cool if you couldn't even talk to each other kind of thing.
It's like me and you jump into randos and like we become monsters.
Yeah, and then we have to kill all the other people in the lobby. Like there's something about this game. I'm liking this concept.
I hope that they drop it like where it's like maybe a Helldiver situation, like a $30-$40, and then we get really really quality of life stuff to it.
Yeah, just like slow trickle of updates to make it better.
Yeah, I'm all for just an initial purchase, because normally I feel companies usually up their bar at least a little bit if there's an upfront cost.
Yeah, that is true.
So I hope it's $30 or $40, and if it is, I'll probably pick this one up too.
Yeah, I like everything about this, but I think this could be something. And then the last one was our other Cthulhu game, Cthulhu Cosmic Abyss.
No, this one sounds like you fucking made it up.
Yeah, it does. But I didn't.
Cosmic Abyss.
The Cosmic Abyss. And this wasn't even a gameplay trailer. It was just a cinematic, but I did like the cinematic, I guess.
Yeah, it seemed cool. Did you get Returnal vibes?
A little bit. I got Returnal vibes on this one.
Yep, I got Returnal Cthulhu. That's what I'm called. That's what I wrote down in my notes, and that's what I'm going with for now.
Yeah, this one's like, I don't have much to say about it. I just wanted to put it on there because it was another Cthulhu game, and I thought that was hilarious. Two in 1 week.
Just back to back.
Yeah.
We got so confused.
Yeah.
Are they even real?
Like, what is with the Cthulhu?
Well, no, there's another one too. The Forbidden City, I think it was called. There was the first one.
Is this a sequel?
No. I'm talking about a third one.
Oh,
dude.
there's a third Cthulhu game. All right.
Right, and it's called rad. That's the second. I think it's the Forbidden City or Forgotten City or the Flooded City. It's something like that. You're a dude with a backpack, and you're like a detective. And
I remember that game now that you're mentioning. I never played it. It got bad reviews.
It was, again, it was like a cult classic feeling game. Like, I played it because it was like $2. I was like, I'll check out the Cthulhu game for $2. And it had a lot of charm. It just was way too convoluted. It should have shouldn't have tried to do so many things.
Oh, okay. One of those.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like, it was like trying to be investigative and melee and shooting, and I'm like, just pick one and everything else is pretty good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Out of the two Cthulhu games, which one you more interested in?
Oh, the Mound.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, because we know what that is. It's like, give me a musket and we're fighting weird shit in the jungle with our friends. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I think of all four of these horror games that were all kind of released at the same time, the Mound's the one. That's the one of these I was like, I'm gonna try this one.
Yeah, and if it's anything like Left 4 Dead, it will be worth playing for a couple weekends with your friends, I think.
Yeah, I think we could get our crew together to play that one. It would be fun.
Sweet, I look forward to it.
Yeah, so next, I think we'll just go to Monster Hunter here before we go to Suikoden I. So you have been boiling with rage to talk about Monster Hunter, so what's going on with you and Monster Hunter?
I don't even know what to say. I don't tweet often, but when I'm really frustrated with something, I tweet. It's like the only thing that when I tweet. So if you see my Twitter, it's just me complaining. But it's just, I felt I was taking a dump, and I'm like, I gotta do the tweet.
Yeah.
I gotta tweet, and I tweeted, I'm torn on Monster Hunter, and like it hurt my soul, dude. It hurt my soul to say that, but it's. When I say it aloud, when I say it on the podcast for the thousands, millions of people to hear, It's like a weight. It's like confession. It's like a confession. I think this game isn't that good right now, and I think a lot of people are coping really hard. Like,
I think
this
they
might
are.
be one of the most copy games I've ever seen.
I just
And
want to
it's
read a
frustrating.
text I sent you the other day. Seems like this is only getting worse. I've played for 3 hours today and have fought one monster.
Like, good lord.
That sums up the game for me. And then, so I beat it, I thought, and the credits rolled, and the game keeps going, and immediately there's cutscenes. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The credits rolled. Why are there more cutscenes? And then I was talking to your nephew, he did steamroll it. He's loving it. And he said that
to be 14.
Yeah, to be 14. The credits is like the halfway point of the game. So there's still.
Oh yeah, I was fucking. That's what I did. I forgot. I completely forgot that happened. He told me that too. We were He jumped into. I was testing the multiplayer. He's like, "Oh yeah, I think I got to the like interlude of the game." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. It seems like after that's a little better, but whenever there were more cutscenes, I was just like, "No, thank you, Monster Hunter. No, thank you."
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna talk about Suikoden, and like, to me, that was like a stealth drop from heaven. That was like, oh, here, you feel bad about Monster Hunter, play a game you absolutely loved.
Yeah, like.
And so I had to like, it was like a pet. Like, I bought it immediately when I saw it came out because it was a palate cleanser. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, I've never. Oh, I'm just dreading playing this game, dude.
It doesn't get better, man. That's the issue. Like, this cutscenes get longer. The fights, it's like, it seems like it takes forever till you actually fight a fucking monster in a Monster Hunter game. Like, the combat's good. That's it.
I don't even know anymore, man. I was playing it today. I got to the the thing that looked really cool and then turned into a big inflated condom and looked stupid. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I would have to see it.
It looks like a giant mosquito fly thing.
Oh, yeah. That was in our video. I was fighting that in our video.
Yeah. I was like, this thing looks awesome. And then it like blows up into a big like purple Trojan condom. I'm like, yuck.
I don't even remember that.
But I was playing that. I was fighting it today. I think I was fighting it. I'm like, is this thing like, what is wrong with this thing? It's swiping at nothing. I have a huge hammer and I'm just holding it, running around real slow, charging it. I'm like, it's like Jeopardy's playing. I'm like, do. Like, it doesn't even care I'm there. I'm just like bumping its asshole once in a while with it. And it like swipes at me in a really obvious manner where I'm like, at this point, I can just jump over it. Like, it's so obvious what I feel like I'm playing like like training mode through all of this. Yeah. And I'm like, there's no satisfaction here. And then I realize where the satisfaction is for me.
Huh.
Button mashing. Jumping in and just hitting buttons.
That's what I've been doing on keyboard, man. I'm just hitting R and shift and clicking the mouse and just till the thing dies.
And the reason is, as I'm playing this like old Monster Hunter Worlds, where you had to step back, wait a moment, take a breath, and like pick your shots. Like, this game, there's no picking your shots. Yeah,
it's just wailing
just
on
start swinging, baby.
Yeah, just wail on it until you get hit.
If you play it like Worlds, it's boring as fuck.
Huh. Yeah, I never played it.
So boring. And I'm just like, so I have to play this game the way I don't like playing it, which is like, I like playing it slow and methodic. I don't want to wail on the monster. I want it to attack me and have it regret that. Like, not the other way around. Like, that's what I liked about Worlds, was like, the only thing between you and the monster is this fucking sword. In this, it's like, I'm a god compared to you.
Yeah, you would never feel a sense of like I could die. And that's the other thing too, man. Like I got to the end game and I skipped all the cutscenes and then it's like, dude, it's the same monsters only that now they have more health.
Wait,
Yeah, that's what's happened after the credits.
and it's like, you don't even. And the other thing, it's like you don't even have to grind for anything. It seems like because you get everything real quick. So is there any point to keep playing this game?
Yeah, the only thing I've had to like I don't know, man. I haven't had to grind for anything. I haven't I don't know, man. You're right. Like it's weird the copium on this one because it has like a 90 on Metacritic. This thing is sold. It's like the highest selling Capcom game of all time. 1.3 million people playing it. Like what
Do
is
you
going?
have Worlds?
No,
Do you have it?
I think I do actually because it was free at one point. I have it on my PlayStation.
Would you do me a service of like playing that for like an hour or two and just if you ever feel like I feel like I want to play Worlds now. Like I'm realizing just even like the chicken cock monster thing that's like a goofball in the game. He like reminds me of Jar Jar Binks. You fight him like second. That's a more interesting fight than anything I've fought thus far. Especially that fucking trash bag thing. What is that monster?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so frustrated, man.
Yeah, I am kind of disappointed in this game.
I'm disappointed because I love it. And like I'm backtracking on the mounts too. I think the mounts are actually the reason why the game's bad.
That's actually cuz my friend Stan is really really big into Monster Hunter. It's like his favorite series and he like I asked him about the video. I was like, "What did you think?" And he's like, "It was good, but I totally disagree with Andrew. The mounts ruined the game."
Well, now you can go back to him, like, text him, like, now. Be like, Andrew turned and said the mounts are actually the worst part without talking to you. Because it's true.
Yeah.
I realized that was the quality of life that they shouldn't have gave us. Because that was where the difficulty was.
Yeah, there's
Like, do you have the balls to go in? Because if you do, you're going to get hit if you don't know what you're doing. In this, it's like, whistle, bye.
yeah.
You're already gone.
Whistle. Oh, I'm about to die. Whistle. Get on your thing. Drink 2 potions. Jump back off. Start hitting it again till you get
Sometimes
hit.
like a cracked stick, eat a fillet,
Yeah.
come back. Like you can do whatever you want.
You can't even tell like when the monster's gonna hit you. Like they just hit you. So it's like it's just drinking potions and hitting the thing till it dies. Maybe you have
Yeah.
to be a 14-year-old kid. Maybe we're too old for this.
Yeah, maybe. It's just like I look at Worlds and it was like you had to master your weapon because every weapon you needed to know what to do if you needed to block or dodge. Each had a different way to do it. You know, it was cool. Whether it be a parry, whether it be just like I think with the greatsword, you just fucking shoulder charged into the monster, so like it would negate the damage.
Yeah, and I thought, like you said, that fighting the monsters is fun. This is where we were on the first impressions. Maybe when we get to endgame, it'll be better. I got to endgame, and I'm like, I don't think I can play more Monster Hunters right now. Like, maybe I'll come back. A lot of like people are asking me to play with them, so maybe I'll try that and see if it's any better.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna play tonight. If you want to just you join my squad, and then if you want to join the mission I'm on, just join in. I'm going through the campaign, and I'm gonna be skipping cutscenes.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We'll see how late it gets, man. I'm an old man. I have to go to work.
I understand, and we
Yeah.
have a lot of cutscenes. So.
And yeah, there's so many cutscenes. So I think I would have thought. I honestly thought when we talked about Monster Hunter the first time that the next time we came back, I would be liking it more, but I seem to be liking it less.
That's yes, and and I would mounts ruined the game. I don't think combat is. I think people are coping on the combat. It's not as good as Worlds. The weak spot, that red dot thing.
Oh, that
needs
wasn't
to go
in.
away.
That wasn't in the last
No.
one. Okay, yeah,
that is
it's-
like a free hit, and like that shit shouldn't like that. That doesn't. That just interrupts the monster. It's like what?
Yeah, and you can like when you explode them and they just fall over.
Just like, so I'm just gonna choose to knock over Godzilla, right? Now, like, you shouldn't have that. like it should be like, oh shit, Godzilla's attacking, I better do something. Like, no, that's fucking stupid, man.
Yeah. Oh well.
There's too much quality of life. They need to make like Monster Hunter Wilds survival mode, and all it is just Monster Hunter Worlds
with no mount. Yeah, right, with no mounts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But
do you want to
thank God it. Yeah. I was gonna say a good segue is thank God we got Suikoden I and II Remake dropped.
Yeah, thank God, but it really depreciated the value of my copy of Suikoden II.
Did it though?
I don't know. I didn't even look at it and see what it's worth anymore.
It might be worth more because more people know the game exists.
That is true. Like
this is definitely one for me. Like, if you were gonna ask me what JRPG would you want remade, I would say this would have been in my top 5 for sure. So I'm sitting fucking pretty right now. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I can't remember. Like, I really like Suikoden 2. I think Suikoden 1 was good, but like I think 2 is just like so much better that it kind of makes $290 is what it's worth.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's still up in value. But
continuing on.
Yeah, Suikoden 2 is an amazing game. I didn't pick these up yet. I think I'm kind of waiting for, like, I have a couple days off in a row. I just don't feel like with all the editing and playing I can do 2 60-hour games. But they are both amazing JRPGs, like old school JRPGs. 2 is definitely a lot better for memory.
Yeah. Well, I am in the minority of I like 1 better.
Yeah, that's just.
But it's a nostalgia thing. But it just like it hits. It's one of those like comfy movies. It just hits all those spots right at the right times, and the music I think from the first one might be one of my favorite soundtracks. I just have been listening to the game more than I've ever listened to a video game before.
No.
Like, I bought it and I've been playing for 10 hours and I've only played for like 2.
That is good background music. Now, with the remake, did they up the graphics? Did they make it look better?
Yeah, so this is where I'm kind of torn. I think overall I would say they did a pretty good job. I think as a remake, like upping it and everything, quality wise, I think they did a really good job. They kind of made things more 3D-ish, but still kept that PS1 charm. The sprites themselves stayed the same. They're just maybe a little bit crisper.
Okay.
In the first game, this is huge. If you didn't know, you couldn't run sideways, like catty corner.
No, you couldn't go diagonal. Yeah.
Now you can.
Oh, that is huge.
So it's like the second one. It has the same movement as the second one and the first one, which is just a great quality of life. However, on the overworld map, they did not tone down the speed of the...
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
You could go way faster and get places way faster if you just go diagonal. So there's a tip for you.
Just go diagonal to everything.
But I think everything improved except one thing I'm still iffy on, and I think it's just going to either be a matter of time, but I'm not loving the new character portraits in the game, and those are really a huge part of this game because you get 108 characters, at least the first one. 108 characters. And every time you meet one, they have a really awesome character portrait tied to them. And I don't know if the reimagining is the way I would have done it personally. It's giving me like that washed out mobile phone chibi vibe, but but not like
See, I'd probably like
bad,
that.
not bad chibi, but it's just a little bit less rough than the original, and I kind of liked how rough and gruff the original portraits were.
Yeah, and that was
So
a big thing. Is those portraits a lot of like your decisions on of the 108 characters, like at least back then, because I like didn't know who was good, or I wasn't trying to build the meta team. It was just like, who do I think looks the coolest?
yeah, I'm picking the ninja guy, the hot girl.
Exactly. And then you like whoever has team ups.
Yeah. So I'm kind of disappointed in the portraits, but overall, there's some I like, there's some I don't like. Like I think Ted looks better in this version because in the original I just wanted to curb stomp that character. Like, but like some of the other characters just look kind of washed out, too pastel.
Mm.
I will say I got this at a 25% discount, and through Green Man Gaming. I think everyone who uses Steam should use Green Man Gaming. It's like you just get free discounts for no reason.
Yeah,
But,
because that was a sticking point for me on this one. I don't think it should have been $50. That's a lot for these two
it is.
games.
It is, but I looked into the development. They actually been remastering this for about 5 years, which is a long time, and that'd be about $25 a game if you look at it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, I think if you are a Suikoden fan, I think you would enjoy it for sure. I think it's worth the money.
Plus, like, unless you had $290 to get my copy of it, there was no way to play it.
Right, and this is like, instead of getting it for free or, whatever, playing the old version, this is all scaled appropriately. All the music's there. You can just listen to the music. So far, I've had no technical issues. It's all straightforward. And I didn't know this. There's a hard mode.
Huh. I don't know if I remember that as a kid. Like, dude,
I think that's new. I think they added it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
like I honestly haven't played this game probably since I was like 14 when it came out.
Yeah, I've played through the whole. I never beat it. I got to the very end and couldn't beat it because I was too young. I just, it's like I just gave up.
Yeah, it happens when you're a kid.
Yeah, you're like, I'll do it someday.
I call it the Ninja Gaiden 1 effect for me. Like, I've always wanted to beat that game, but I get to that last level and trying to beat those 3 bosses, and I'm like, nah, I'm not good enough, and I never will be.
I think I loved it so much because it was like the first game where it felt like you built an army.
Yeah,
because you would like collect all those cool people, and then like with them you get new recruits, and you do little battles and shit. Like, it was a lot in Suikoden that people. It's not just a JRPG.
No,
There's
it has like
a little bit of an army strategy to it too.
Yeah, it has 3 like basic mode types. It's like standard RPG, then army battles, and then like one-on-one battles, right?
Yeah, they had they had those duels as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the duels.
And you can have like, I think one of the characters can like actually die in one of those duels, and then you can't get all 108 characters, so it's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. And a lot of the characters too, you have to do certain things at certain times. I remember printing a frickin' like Word doc on a dial-up modem on how to get all 108 characters in that game. I remember doing that.
Yeah, and actually I texted you. I'm gonna use AI to see if it can figure it out to get all 108.
I am interested to see if it.
I'm like, give no bullshit, no spoilers. Get me all 108 characters. That's like what I'm gonna tell it, and I want to see how it does it.
Yeah, because it was hard, as I recall. There were a couple like secret ones where it was like you had to do something very specific to get them to join your party.
Yeah, and there's time restraints, and I think it's like if you get this person before that person, it's like it can be a mess, and sometimes you have to like really backtrack to go find some of these older characters. Just like be like, oh yeah, I wonder what that guy's up to.
Yeah, I love it. I liked Suikoden. I don't know if I would put it as like one of my all-time favorite JRPGs. I just think it's a really good one.
It's one of the ones that made me realize what RPGs could be. So I was like, I'm interested in this genre for sure.
Yeah. So do you want to do our top old school RPGs?
Yes, I wrote these by hand. I don't know why, but I didn't type these up. So let me get my little book here.
Yeah, I always write this by hand while I'm at work. Like,
That makes sense.
yeah, because like gives me an excuse to do something besides work. I can go first though if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I got my book. I'm all ready.
Okay, so I wonder if we have some of the same ones. So go ahead and give me one.
Suikoden I.
Okay.
I mean, I just gushed enough about it.
Yeah.
It is in my top 3. I didn't have this isn't in any particular order for me right now, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's in my top 3 JRPGs. So, like I said, I'm sitting pretty with this remake, and I'm happy.
I am gonna go in my top 3. Breath of Fire 3.
Great fucking game.
Yeah,
It's on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I fucking love Breath of Fire. I like all the Breath of Fire games. 3 and 4 are both really good. Like it's a toss up. Like you could go 3 or 4 as far as I'm concerned. And what's funny is this game series died because of Breath of Fire 5 and how much everyone hates it. I think Breath of Fire 5 is the best one.
But that's on what?
PS2. That's why I didn't.
PS2,
that's why I didn't count it. I was like, I don't really think it's old school, but I think that's one of those games, Breath of Fire 5, where it just released at the wrong time. Like if they released that game today with how games are, because it was a roguelike before anyone knew what that was. And it was super hard, like Dark Souls levels of hard. So people hated it. And I just think nobody knew what a roguelike was.
They just didn't understand the game. I think again, that's like actually to kind of throw back to Monster Hunter. Like this game doesn't feel like Monster Hunter. So like I that's why I think I'm upset with it.
Yeah, and I think Breath of Fire 5 did not feel like a Breath of Fire game. Like you did still play as Ryu and Nina was in it.
Uh-huh.
But it was like a 3D. It was a roguelike, and you were just in this underground city trying to get out of it. Like, to get Nina to the surface because she was dying. Because, like, humans lived underground, if I recall. Like, I loved this game, but it was so fucking hard. I can't even, like, equate the battle system to anything. It was kind of a unique thing. It was more like, remember Parasite Eve?
Yeah, I mean, vaguely,
Yeah.
but I know the game, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, where it was like you moved, like you had a certain distance you could move and then attack. But it was a roguelike. If you got, halfway through the game, but you died, and you could die from some bullshit. Like, monsters could just sleep you and hit you, and you just die. You had to start over. And it was like a 25-hour game to get to the end. So it wasn't even short.
So you're saying this is Breath of Fire 5?
Yeah. No, everyone hated Breath of Fire 5. And I love Breath of Fire, all of them. And
I love it, Breath of Fire. Well, honestly, we talked about this once before, Breath of Fire 5. And every time we talk about it, you sell it to me. So I really do want to play it someday.
I wish it wasn't so hated, because there's no way to play it outside of buying a physical copy that I'm aware of. If anyone knows out there a way to play Breath of Fire 5, I'd love to know it. I dream of playing that game again.
I mean, Kester, you have a PC now.
Yeah, that is true. I should look for it modded.
Yeah, dude. We'll get you a physical copy and load it onto your PC.
All right, that'll work. All right,
Perfect.
All right, you got another one?
Yes. So, Xenogears.
Oh, dude, I have Xenogears as overrated.
I love that game.
Did you ever actually beat Xenogears, though?
No. So
Okay.
I got halfway through it, and it was like a borrowed copy. I never could finish it. And then by the time I bought it, I didn't want to I started it but never beat it again. But the reason I like Xenogears is because I think the combat is super fun. I love the combo combat system it has.
Yeah, the combat. And I see. I think I'm jaded on Xenogears, and it's not because I don't think it's a good game. It has, without a doubt, and this is probably why you don't have the same vitriol, the worst end castle of any RPG ever made. It is fucking impossible. Like, I could never beat it as a kid.
What's wrong with it? Just like, is
Okay,
it a maze or is it? Yeah, tell me.
So you have the mechs, right? And you have a certain amount of fuel. And once you run out of fuel, you can't do anything. You're in this giant maze, and there doesn't seem to be a way to possibly get through it. Like, I could never get through it. Maybe you can do it with a guide, but as a child, I could never get through that fucking end. And it pissed me off playing a game for like 90 hours. I'm in the last dungeon. I get the super mech, and I cannot fucking beat the game because there's no way through this goddamn dungeon.
I've never heard that sentiment, so maybe no one's ever really beat that game.
I find it hard to believe no one else has ever had this issue with this game. Maybe I'm just...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That sounds like misery, because
Yeah.
I do remember the fuel system and all of that. You get out of your mech and you're real tiny, which I loved when I was a kid.
Yeah, the combat in that game was great. The story's good, but it pissed me off because I could never beat it.
Fair.
Yeah. That ends the worst end dungeon in any RPG.
All right. What about Final Fantasy 15, dude? That dungeon where you couldn't fight?
Yeah, but you could get through it. You could beat it.
To what? To get the best ending of all time?
I'm not here. I'm just saying that's a worse game. Like, objectively, Final Fantasy 15 is worse in every way. But Xenogears pisses me off.
All right. Fair. All right, what's your next one?
My next one is definitely Secret of Mana.
And then you just got it was a new game, right?
Yeah, they just came out with Legend of Mana.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good, and they got shut down for making a good game. Classic. But if I can gush about Secret of Mana, like, Secret of Mana to me is the most relaxing game I have ever played. There's something about the way the combat system in that works. I don't know if you've ever played it.
Yes, I played it.
Yeah, where it's like you have to like hit and then wait for the thing to refill, and then you can hit again with the music. That game is just so relaxing, and I think it might have the best soundtrack of any old school Square RPG, which is saying a lot.
It is, but I think that I think a good sound, like, if you love a game soundtrack, that's a lot of points for you, because like you're listening to it all the time.
Yeah, like
That's your memories, dude. You know, so
and just playing that game with my best friend when we were like kids, man. We just play that game constantly. It was so much fun, and it was 2 players. There was no real like 2-player RPGs back then.
yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's like it's just a kid's wet dream. It's like going to your buddy's basement and just fucking playing Legend of Mana.
Yeah,
Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana sleepovers, man.
Yeah, dude.
That game is so good to me. I love Secret of Mana.
Pizza and some soda popinski. Oh.
Yeah, they remade it too. So like, I would highly. What's weird is when they remade it, they remixed the soundtrack, and it's fucking terrible. It's like, why would you do that? But like luckily, you can just turn the original soundtrack on, so it's fine. But I think it's a fine remake. It's the same exact game. It's just in 3D, a little better graphics.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've always wanted to like play them. I don't know why I never did. I guess I never did as a kid, so I never took the plunge.
Yeah, a lot of people
I never really beat them. I just kind of dabbled in it a little bit.
Like, so Secret of Mana is actually, I can't remember what the name of the series is. It's the second one in the Mana series. The third one, Trials of Mana, is also very good. And that was one that didn't come out until the US until they had a remake of it. I think that one might be a better game, but I don't have the nostalgia for it that I have because it never came out in the US.
So, have you ever played a bad game from the Mana series?
No, I love the Mana series. I think they're all good.
Good to know. So if ever I'm looking for just something new to dive into, I might actually pick that up.
Yeah,
cozy JRPG.
Yeah, it's cozy is the best way to describe it, actually.
Hell yeah, I love a good. I would say Suikoden's that cozy for me, and that may be why it's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, I totally understand that. All right,
is it my turn?
It's your turn.
This one was hard, so we're doing our top 3. There was 5 I had trouble picking from. But I'm like still kind of. I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy IX.
See, I knew you would pick that, so I didn't pick that one.
Yeah, and honestly, Kessler, the reason I picked it and the final thing I wrote for it got the point is because I have you are Vivi in my phone. So when you text me, Vivi pops up. I don't know why I did that.
That's
what
awesome.
I did it.
I'll take it.
Right. So I just always associate you with Vivi, and I love that game. And like I was like, it's kind of meant to be. We're doing this list. I see Vivi all the time. Final Fantasy IX's going on it.
I struggle with between Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy VII being the best PlayStation Final Fantasy. Like of course it is an 8, but like I still think 8 had some good ideas, but it's not in the conversation with those two. And it's you asked me on the day which one I think is better. It can change. I love Final Fantasy IX. I think my favorite thing about Final Fantasy IX is how dark it is because you don't see it coming.
Yeah, that's why I think I love it. It's kind of if you took Final Fantasy VII and took it in more of a fantasy way instead of a modern sci-fi fantasy way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's very return to roots of Final Fantasy where it's like you have 4 party members, they each have a specific job kind of thing.
Yeah, and you get you have the classic black mage with Vivi, and he literally looks like the black mage from Final Fantasy 1. It's like a race of people.
Yeah, Vivi's the best character in that game. I really like the mouse girl too. What was her name?
Oh,
Freya?
yeah. I forget
was it
her.
Freya?
Yes, that's it. I think you're right, yeah.
She was great.
I had trouble saying her name when I was little because I'm like, it's spelled weird, I think. What is her name?
I had an orange cat that I named Dagger after Dagger in Final Fantasy VII. Or Final Fantasy
that makes
9.
sense because she wears the orange and white outfit.
Yeah, that's like my cat was orange and white. Rest her soul. And that's that's why I named my cat because it was named after Dagger in that game. So that's how much I liked that game.
I think in that game, for me, it felt like the most ragtag group of heroes ever put together in a Final Fantasy game. But they were all like cliche characters, but they did it so well and they were so awesome. You know?
Yeah, all the characters are great. And I love that, just that turn it takes where the fucking queen summons Bahamut and it just, kills that entire village of people.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this was up to a certain point. That game was pretty, fantasy fun. And then all of a sudden, people are getting murdered. Vivi's like a clone. And then, is that the one where you're an alien at the end? Or you're from another dimension.
See, the end of that game always gets fuzzy to me because it's I've only ever seen it once.
Yeah, I've never replayed that game.
The first half of that game 50 times.
That is one of those games. I don't remember the end very well. I do remember the end boss being one of those. This is the secret real bad guy that's been here all along. That JRPGs love to do.
Yeah, it's the moon was the enemy the whole time.
Yeah, it was like a floating blue orb, as I recall. That's the only thing I remember about the end of that game. And I think, because you had a tail and you were the only one in that world with a tail, and you were either from another dimension or from another planet. I can't remember.
Fucking Goku.
Yeah, I think you were Goku. That's what it was.
It makes sense. I mean, DBZ is around the 90s.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
this came out this came out 2000 actually.
Yeah, I mean, when was Dragon Ball not a thing though? It's been a thing
Oh, for
since the
sure. For
'80s,
sure.
and that'll bring
I
me.
mean,
That's an excellent segue to like. So this is my number one.
there you go.
This game and Bloodborne swap back and forth for my third favorite game of all time, and it's criminal to me that we've only ever gotten two of these games. But Chrono Trigger is my favorite Japanese RPG of all time.
Yeah, my Chrono Cross is in my honorary mentions. It was in my top 5.
Oh, I really like Chrono Cross, but like Chrono Trigger, man, that game is so fucking good. That game is responsible for turning me into the person I am today more than anything. Like, playing Chrono Trigger got me into video games. And then when I was like, I want to say 13, 14, I'd have to get up and run for soccer. And that's when I saw Dragon Ball at like 6 in the morning. It was the old Ocean dub. And I'm like, this guy looks like Chrono. Then that got me into anime. So, like, Chrono Trigger, yeah. Chrono Trigger got me not only into video games, it got me into anime. So, it is
Chrono's hair got you into anime.
I know, isn't that crazy? I was like, this guy.
Not really. His hair's great.
Yeah. And like, I didn't even
Great
know
hair.
it was the same artist back then. I was too young.
I mean, it is basically Goku with orange hair.
Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. Akira Toriyama's character designs are so good. I
Like you just love looking at his characters. Everything about it just is it's awesome. It's awesome.
And that combat system in that game, it was like the first like role playing game I played where it didn't have random encounters. You could see the enemies on the map. Everyone like moved around as you were fighting them, so you had to kind of like wait for things to line up to hit text. I love.
Did you know it was one of the first RPGs to use environments like that because it wasn't random. They actually used the environment such as like handrails and shit.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the plot in that game's good. It's a time travel game, and it makes sense for the most part. And it's when we were just talking about in Final Fantasy IX, where there's like a secret bad guy. There isn't in that game. It's like you're just trying to stop Lavos the entire game, and then and the other thing is, everyone always talks about like, oh, it was so sad when Aerith died. Fucking Chrono died in Chrono Trigger. Like, they killed the main character.
Doesn't he cease to exist?
Yeah, he gets like blown out of reality. Like luckily,
people for isn't he got like isn't it like it's like he got forgotten kind of deal or
no, they didn't forget about him. It was like time travel shenanigans, and you get him back.
Okay,
But
yeah, okay.
like he died. I always thought Magus was such an interesting villain, and then him being able to join your party or not join your party.
Yeah, very cool.
Music in that game was incredible. I think what makes that game so good is it's not that long. Like, you can beat Chrono Trigger in like 15 hours.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like one of those games you hear people they replay it a lot, and I think it's because it's a reasonably long, like a reasonable game.
Yeah, it's short, it's sweet. To me, I don't think there has been a turn-based Japanese RPG to come out since Chrono Trigger that was better than Chrono Trigger, and that was Super Nintendo.
It's your bar, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's my origin story.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
You know what's cool about that too is that Chrono Cross lets you do a similar thing with Lynx.
Yeah.
Where like he's a villain, but again, it's like, oh,
yeah, you
get
turn
to
into Lynx.
use him. Yeah, you get to use him in a way. So
and then
they kept that going.
That game also has Harley Quinn. I don't remember what her name was, but she was essentially.
You don't need to, but she's the best.
Yeah, she was just essentially Harley Quinn. Yeah, that's an underrated game. It's weird.
She's
they never
French.
They never made another one with how good both those games are.
I think we're going to get a Chrono Cross remaster.
I would rather see a Chrono Trigger remaster.
I don't think they have the balls, and I don't think they can make it better.
That is true. I don't think you can improve on that game. That's a perfect game to me.
And I don't. They did just come out with the Chrono Cross though, like remaster.
Yeah, you can play it on the newer systems now.
Yeah. So I don't think we're gonna get anything.
Nah. Do you want me to go through the rest of the ones I wrote down that I didn't pick?
Yeah, give me your honorary mentions.
Okay, so
I got a couple.
I'm gonna go Mario RPG.
Nice, good pick. Did you play the newest one?
The remake. I don't have a Switch. I don't, or I would have.
I have it. Maybe we can make a deal.
Yeah, maybe.
I just let you borrow it if you really want to play it as well.
Cool. Legend of Dragoon I really liked.
Never played it, but I have no clue why. I've always wanted to.
Yeah, it's a good game. Final Fantasy Tactics, of course.
Nice, nice.
And then I have like a couple of like more obscure ones. Valkyrie Profile.
That's a game I would say is like cult classic. People just fucking love that game.
It's really good, and it's you can get it on PlayStation now, and it was real cheap. So if you have any interest, it's really one of those games where it's cool because there's not really anything else like it. It was a 2D side-scrolling RPG. So it was like Castlevania mixed with like turn-based RPG.
So like Odin's Sphere kind of thing.
No, because it was turn-based battles. Like you would go.
Oh, it was turn-based. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, like you went from like a 2D side-scroller to like a standard RPG format, and then each one of your characters was assigned to a button. So if you hit X, the one guy would attack. If you hit circle, the other guy would attack. So you could like kind of like hit the buttons to make them attack in different orders to get combos going.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it has the best sequel. Like it's weird because everyone talks about that one, Valkyrie Profile, is the cult classic. The sequel was way better. It's a PS2 game, and we'll never see another one. They even made a new one for PS4, and it was like an action game, and it was a very good action game, but when you weren't fighting, it was the worst game ever made.
Wait, didn't we both play the demo of that? Where like,
yeah, I bought it.
Like archers and shit. I played the demo. I really liked it, and you were like, I almost pulled the trigger because I really liked the demo.
Yeah, it's worth playing as a combat system. It's like Devil May Cry. Like
that, it was really fun.
That level of fun, and the plot for Valkyrie Profile is cool because basically Ragnarok is happening, and Odin sends you out to like collect warriors for his army.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's like it's
what's
just
the second one called?
Valkyrie Profile Lilith. Or Lilith.
You say that is that the better one?
Yeah, it's a PS2 game. That game is fucking amazing. I still have it, but my ex-girlfriend stole my PlayStation 2, so I can't play it. But I still have it, and if I ever get a PS2, like I've contemplated buying a PS2 to replay that game.
Hey, if I ever stumble across one, which is actually highly likely I'll let you know.
Like a cheaper one. But yeah, Valkyrie Profile, all of them are good. One, especially 2 is better, but 1 is a classic. And then I have Grandia.
Oh, that was a PS1, huh?
It was a Saturn PS1 game, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's another one. Grandia 2 was a Dreamcast game, and Grandia 2 was better, but Grandia had a really cool combat system.
Grandia 2 is where I got into it for Dreamcast. That's the first time I played that series.
Yeah, and it's like Dreamcast, I don't know, because if we were counting Dreamcast, I'd put Skies of Arcadia on there as well.
I think that's not old school enough yet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if Grandia... Yeah. But Grandia 1 is definitely old school enough, and that's a good game.
Cool. Then, I have one more. Do you have any more than that?
Nah, those were my honorable mentions.
That's a good list. I got Ark the Lad.
I thought that game was so hard.
The first one is one of the very few JRPGs I ever beat.
Yeah, I remember the encounter rate being annoying in that one.
Right, and there was this thing that like I found it. I didn't know this. I was so proud of myself. There was like it was either a glitch or I just figured out the best method to kill people because I wiped the game in like every match in like 1-2 turns. I had this like hit that killed everyone.
Okay. Yeah, Arc the
So
Lad.
Arc the Lad, I just loved it. It was my first experience with tactical gameplay
Hmm.
and like grid based. So it's just really near and dear to me. And my real obscure one that I would consider an RPG is Digimon World for PS1.
I never played that, but yeah, it would be
I
an RPG.
I rented it and it was like kind of like it was just Pokemon, but it was 3D and you could like actually see your guys. So I'm like, this is better than Pokemon in my mind.
Yeah,
Um,
as a kid.
and I rented it. Yeah, as a kid, I rented it, and then my brother saw me playing it, and he was really good at like, oh, you know, Andrew rented this a couple times. I'll probably just buy it for him.
What a
So
nice
he
guy.
noticed like I was playing this like weird Digimon game all the time and renting it. So just he randomly bought it for me for my birthday, and like I fucking loved it. But I never beat it. I never got far. But the thing I loved about that game was it was always random. There was like an egg system where it was always random what Digimon you got, and there was
Okay.
a lot at the beginning. So I just always restarted to see what Digimon I like would take care of for that day. I was a weird kid.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, we didn't mention I would put Final Fantasy VI on there as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think you could throw kind of any Final Fantasy in there
Yeah,
for the most part,
that's
except
why
8, of
it's like I
course.
didn't pick a Final Fantasy because it's like you could pick 6, 7, 9, 4. I would be like, yeah, those are all great.
I think considering 9 is my favorite, it needs to kind of be in my top 3.
Yeah, I can't.
Um,
I can't
I don't know.
honestly. I think I'd go 7.
I think seven's just like again, it's like Zelda. It's like of course seven's good. It's like kind of in the holy grail status now.
Yeah, that is the thing.
It's like amongst gods, you know. It's up there with the Ocarina of Time and Pong.
Yeah, it really is. Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Tetris. Like they're all hanging out at the fucking table.
Yeah, in the Hall of, you know, cult classics. They're just
Yeah.
classics.
Yeah, unarguably best video games. Like
Yeah.
you can't fuck with these. Don't even try.
Yeah, so that's why I would say like I didn't want to put 7 because it goes without saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was an awesome list. That was fun. I had a good time going back through that and the Suikoden leading to that. It's just been a really cool nostalgia week for me, and I appreciated this cast.
Yeah, this was a fun cast. I think there is only one way to end this cast there. Blades of fire.
Blades of fire!
Oh, so good. All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.